Hello, today I'm going to show you how to multiply polynomials. So let me open up OneNote. As you can see right here, I have multiple problems. Sometimes students just have troubles trying to solve for it. So let's say, for instance, you get this equation or this problem where it says 6v multiplies to 2v plus 3. So there's two different ways that you could go about it. The first one being, I believe the most common one is the FOIL method, which is multiply these two together. So if we do 6v times 2v, 6 times 2 will give us 12. V times v will give us v squared. But remember, we're still also multiplying 6v by 3. So if we multiply 6 times 3, that will give us plus 18. And because v is included with the 6, we include v. So another way that also helps students is using something called the box method, where you just create a box. You put your leading coefficient in front and a constant, and it's the same thing. So 6v times 2v will give us 12v squared, and 6v times 3 will give us 18v. So with this part, it's just more of a visual learner. Sometimes it can help students understand it. From working from past experience and checking for a student's understanding, you could do either method, or just whatever students prefer. So let's check on to the next one. So if we use the FOIL method, we could do 2v times 6n, and then 2n times 1. So 2n times 6n will give us, 2 times 6 will give us 12. N times n will give us n squared. And then we have 2n times 1, which will give us 2n. And we do the same thing, but we're using the second part, so we're using v2 right here to multiply 6n again, and 1. To make sure we're multiplying every single polynomial. So 2 times 6n will give us 12n. And 2 times 1 will give us 2. And because these two have the same terms, meaning just one n, we could combine them to get 12n squared. There's no other n squared, so we can't add them. 2n plus 12n will give us 14n. And since 2 is by itself as a constant, we could use that. So the way that would look like as a box method, let me just redraw this. We put the leading coefficient straight to front, so we put 2n. We could put 2n and 2 right here, and 6n and 1 right here. So same thing. So 2n times 6n will give us 12n squared. 6 times 2 will give us 12, and we include the n. 2 times n, 2n times 1 will give us 2n, and 1 times 2 will give us 2, which would give us the same results. Now, one cool thing about this is that because we're using simple coefficients, nothing like as n squares to n to a constant, these two right here will usually just add to or subtract to each other. So if we go to the next problem, we have this one that's a little bit more longer. Could be complicated for students, especially seeing it for the first time, since they're more used to by multiplying two polynomials by two polynomials. So we just do this as a FOIL method. We do 4a times 6a squared, 4a times negative a, and 4a times 2. So we do 6 times 4, that would give us 24a, and because it's a times a squared, that would give us a to the power 3. 4a times negative a will give us a negative 4, a times a will give us a squared, and 4a times 2 will give us a positive 8a. And then we do the same thing as to right here with the constant, multiply each term. 2 times 6a squared, 2 times negative a, and 2 times 2. So 2 times 6a squared will give us a positive 12a squared. 2 times negative a will give us a negative 2a, and 2 times 2 will just give us 4. So because we want the same terms, the only one, some of them are 4a squared because of that coefficient, and the other one will be 8a with negative 2a. So if we simplify this, there's nothing with, besides 24, there's nothing with a cubed, so we put 24a to the power 3. And we got negative 4a squared plus 12a squared, which will give us a positive 8a squared, because we could say 4 minus 12, but because 12 is positive, it's a larger number, which means it'll be positive. We have 8a minus 2a, which will give us a positive 6a, and then 4 is by itself. So as a box method, let's just create this box method real quick. So it's 4a plus 4a and 2. Then we have 6a squared. Negative a, let's make sure we include that negative, and 2. So if we do 6a squared times 4a, that will give us 24a to the power 3, because we multiply the coefficients, or we could add them by saying 2 plus 1 would give us 3. 4a squared times negative a would give us negative 4a squared. And then we do 4a times 2, which will give us 8a. Same thing with 2, so 2 times 6a squared will give us 12a squared. 2 times negative a will give us negative 2a. And 2 times 2 will give us 4. So we could add them, but also we could add them for the beginning right here. This has negative 4a squared. This has 12a squared. Whereas this has 8a. And this has negative 2a. So the one on the top left will always be by itself. So we don't have to worry about that. Then we have to do 12a squared minus 4a squared, which would give us a positive 8a squared. 8a minus 2a, which would give us a 6a. And bottom right always be by itself because it's just a constant. Multiplying to a constant will give us a 4. And I forgot to box my method. And from there, this is how you multiply polynomials. You could do it either other way. It's just whatever students want to prefer. Sometimes students prefer just using the FOIL method right here, but other students who are more visual learners prefer learning this method right here. And thank you so much for watching this video.